Hi everyone, this is Robin from mypinkstamper.com and I am here to show you another video on the Cricut Expression 2, the 5th anniversary edition, and this is going to be released on HSN on April 26th. And so if 2011, if this is already past that date, then it's already, or it has already been released. Oh my goodness, I just found something out. If you guys have already seen my first video, look. And I said, oh, there's not a stylus. Look, here's the hidden stylus right here. I didn't even see that. Oh my goodness. Look it. It's a hidden stylus. Yay! Okay, so there is a stylus. And I'm just going to pop it right there. I didn't even see that. So I know you guys are probably yelling. You're probably yelling at the last video. The stylus is right there. Okay, I found it. Okay, anyway, a lot of questions already. I'm getting a lot of emails, questions about the Cricut Expression 2, and I'm just going to share with you what I'm learning about it. And you can cut with the Cricut Imagine cartridges, and so I'm going to show you how to do that. No, it will not print. The Cricut Imagine will do all the printing, so if you like the printing and the layered look with the printing on that, which I love also, you need the Cricut Imagine for that. So this is the Cricut Expression 2, and I'm going to be using the Cricut Imagine Play, or it's called Blast Off. I almost called it Play 1, 2, 3. So we're using the Blast Off cartridge right here, and it goes on the right hand side. There's the right side is where you put, I'm going to put the stylus right here, pull this forward just a bit. This is where you put your Imagine, and then the second side over here on the left side, that's where you put the regular Cricut cartridges. Now I'm getting a lot of questions about the Cricut cartridges. Any regular Cricut cartridge will fit in this machine along with the Cricut Imagine and the regular Cricut. But the Cricut Imagine cartridges will only fit in the Cricut Imagine and now the Cricut Expression 2. So we're going to go ahead and put that in there. Now once you put that in there, watch your screen here. I'll zoom in for you. And now we're just going to be working on the screen. It's thinking for just a second. And I'm going to use my handbook right here. The handbook for the Blast Off, and it has all of these alphabets. Now remember, you can't print with any of these, but you can cut. So you can still do all of the layers if you'd like, or you can leave it as one whole. You can just cut the image as just, you know, just the base, or you can cut all the layers with it. We're going to go ahead and do this owl here. I'm going to do a card for my friend Carly. Yay. Okay, so now what we're going to do, this is super, super easy. And it's going to be easier now because I'm using the stylus, which I didn't use on my last video. Okay, so here, once I plugged it in, if you notice here, it has all of the images that are in the book are on my screen. And you can just go side by side, side to side, to see all of them. Or you can go up here on the right-hand side. There's a little arrow. You can just look at the fonts if you'd like, which these are the fonts, so they're going to stay there. Or you can go into the icons. And there's also images, but we're going to go ahead and go to all. And we're going to go all the way to the end of the alphabet. And that will have the images that are on this cartridge also. So I'm going to use this owl. And it's coming. It's coming, it's coming. Okay, here come the images. Here's the owl right here. Now if you click on the owl, if I just clicked on it and pushed add, what it's going to do is just do the silhouette of the owl. It's just doing the owl as a whole. So what I need to do is let me backspace that. Press your backspace button, or you can press the X and that would clear everything on your bar. I'm going to go ahead and do hit the little pencil right here, and that's my edit button. So I'm going to edit this image. Down here at the bottom, now this screen is awesome. It's huge and it's very easy to read. I don't have my glasses on, and I can see the screen very well from where I'm standing. It's highlighted in the green, and that is the little person with the everything's all together. So this is everything is together, or if you want to do them separately, you press the right button, and that means the layers are all separate. So I wanted the second one, so they're all separate. Now I want to change my size. So if you go here, it has the sizes. Now when I had this on earlier, I was messing around with it. When I first put my Cricut Imagine cartridge in the first time I used it, it was already on real dial size. That means the A, big A and the little a, they look the same size. So you want to take that off if you're layering something and put it on the non-layer button. I don't know what we want to call it. So if you do not want it to be real dial size, press the button that has the big A and the little A that are proportionate. And we want it to be 4 inches, so press your plus to where it's the size you want it to be. And press the button, or the little image right there. Now, when I do this again, that's my screen. If you look up here, it's going to show me all of the little pieces that I'm going to cut. And now let's see what happens when you push your little home page for the mat. Now, do you see how they're really close together, and that would be really hard to put the paper on there? You wouldn't know what size to put. What I'm going to do is go back, and this is going to be a little tricky. I'm going to teach you a few things here that I've learned. We're going to go ahead and put in between each of the little images, I'm going to put a little bracket. Now what that will do is give it a space. Oops. Now, space. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, let me backspace. Backspace. I'm going to do a little bracket in between all of these. Okay, now let's go to the home and see what happens. Now this has spaced them all out nicely. The only thing, it's spaced them in between each other. It hasn't spaced the rows. So we need to go back. Okay. So I've got my owl. I'm going to go ahead and do a line return. But what it did was it moved them onto 2 different pages. And that's actually fine with me. So down here on the mat, so you can use multiple pages. The first page I'm going to put my black, and I'm going to put my wings on my black. That's the color I'm using for my shadow. I can use my colored cardstock for that. Now turn it to the next one, and I'll use my base, and I will add the paper now, and then we'll press cut. So let me get this prepared. Now each one of these squares represents an inch, so I can know exactly what sizes of cardstock or paper I need to put on my mat and where I need to put it. So let me do that, and then we will press cut. Okay, it looks like we're ready to cut. So on this page, let me go back to my first mat, I have just the 2 images. So I'm just using these 2 pieces of paper on my mat. I'm going to go ahead and load it. Remember, they go underneath the guides. And I'm going to press load. Okay, now I'm going to press cut. And all my settings, it's on light paper. I'm not sure why it went to the light paper, but that might just be how it went back. It was automatically set to every time, so make sure you check these things. And we're going to go ahead and press cut. And cut. Okay. Has a lot of reminders so you don't mess up. The light is going on, and now it's cutting. Okay, I think I'm ready. As with all of my projects, I usually do not prepare them before. I just pick some colors, and I picked the size card that I wanted to make, and these were the layers all put together. Now I want to show you something really quick, because a lot of you will have questions if you're using an Imagine cartridge with the Cricut too. It's not going to cut every detail out. Like for example, the owl, on the last part of the owl, it has, if you were using your Imagine, it would print these for you. It would print the owl, the rim on the eyes and the dots, but since it didn't, I just had it, it just cut the shape of it, if that makes sense. So it cuts every shape, but it's not going to cut the pattern or the details. So what we have here is just the white eyes. So we are going to be using, you can use googly eyes, you can use a punch. We're going to use some gems on here. So doesn't that look kind of, actually kind of looks a little creepy, but I think creepy cute, I guess. Okay, so let's set this aside. Now we're making a really big square card. It's going to be 5.5 by 5.5 when you're finished with it square. So this paper right here is 5.5 by 11. Let's fold this in half, and you can get the square envelopes. I've seen that online. This would work great with a 6x6 envelope. Just have to Google it. Sometimes you have to just Google to find sources. Or you can go to my Facebook page and you guys can share a source there to get the square envelopes. Okay, now here I have this square is cut at 5.25 by 5.25, and this one is cut at 5.25 by 2.5 inches. Now remember that. Now I think I just grabbed this punch really quick. We're going to use one of these EK Success punches that I love, the border punches, and we're going to use some. These are just little pop dots. And of course we're using a set of my Pink Stamper stamps. This is Tweety Who Puns, and I thought it'd be perfect with the owl. It has all sorts of owls and birdie sayings, and I just love it. It's really, this one was released last year, but it's one of my favorites. Okay, let's get started. Let's get this baby going. And I do have some ribbon too to use. All right. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and punch. Let's punch. We're going to punch the bottom layer here. Just simply line it up if you have one of these border punches, and it took me a long time to figure this out. You should watch some of my first videos, because when I first got the border punches, I was doing it all wrong, and everybody would send me these emails and comment, "You're doing it wrong!" And so I'm grateful for that, because I learned how to, do it right now. But I was doing it so wrong for so long. Oh, woe is me. Okay, so now we've got a cute little border on here, and let's add some of this ribbon. I have some this is just, I think it's 1/4. This is organdy ribbon, and so we're going to use the cheater method. That's a little bit long. Let me cut one of them down. We just need that to wrap around right there, and we're going to tape it. Okay, you guys like my pink tape dispenser? I love it. Okay, we're going to, let me take off this guy's eyes. I want to make sure that it's going to fit. Okay. We're going to kind of do it right here. And as I'm making these cards and scrapbook pages, I just kind of have to mess around with it and kind of go with how you feel. Nothing is going to be perfect, and if it's perfect, you won't find it in my scrapbook. Now we're just going to put it together. We'll go ahead and put this part on first. This is an ATG gun, and they are absolutely awesome. I love them. Okay. Put that on here, and we're going to also use adhesive on this part. And I want that kind of, let's see, that kind of just down here. Now you can spruce up, if you're using this idea as a sketch, you can cuttlebug the background, you can stamp the background, you can do all sorts of things. And that's going to go right here. Kind of just, woo-hoo. And we're going to just put the bow on now. Well, I'm going to wait to put the bow on because I want to stamp. Now what am I going to stamp? Should I do, this is for my friend Carly, but I don't want to be too cheesy. This is what I do. I take them out of the package, and I just kind of decide what I want to do. Hoot and holler, what a hoot, hooterific, I will always love you. That's more for my hubby, isn't it? Hooray for you, happy birthday to my favorite chick. Who knew? It's your birthday. I'll be seeing you. Birds of a feather, hoot and holler. I think I'm going to do hooray for you. Just hooray. Hooray because you're a great friend. Hooray. Just for fun. I'm using some black ink. And I'm going to stamp this. Now you see I'm stamping this before this time I put on my owl because I want to make sure that I have room. Now I'm just going to stamp it small right here. Now I do have the bigger stamps that I just released too. So if you guys like bigger stamps, or if you just like smaller stamps, I'm really into the small stamps. I like them a lot. Oops, sorry. But I also like the large stamps, so that's why I've created both for you guys. Alright, now we can wait. Let's go ahead and add this guy on here. I'm just going to use a few of these. Okay, I'm just going to put my owlie right here, because I've named him, or her. Owlie! Now this is really simple. Sometimes I do bows, sometimes I don't. We're just going to kind of lightly tie it. And you can kind of twist it as you do it. These knots are really cool because you can kind of get them to go where you want them to go. This one I kind of want to go up and down and kind of just be sporadic. And I like cutting straight across. So I'm cutting straight across. You can cut at an angle if you'd like. Kind of mess around with it. Now this little owlie needs eyes. So we're going to add eyes, and I will just use some of my zip dry glue after. And so this is what my card's going to look like. And I used the new Cricut Expression 2. I hope you enjoy it. Have a great day. Bye-bye.